I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Reverend Chris and to the team for all the work that's going on to keep us all in touch with one another, online and directly face to face. And I know that this is greatly appreciated, and I appreciate the work of my own husband. I'd like to thank him too. Ronnie records my little contributions every week, and I'm very grateful to him for doing that. And of course, it's wonderful to be able to go to church, those of us who can, to meet one another, even if perhaps not in the openness way that we would usually like to, with restrictions. Nonetheless, we can get together and share in worship. And for those of us who are being cautious and shielding once again, of course, our online resources help to keep us in touch with what's going on. And we're able to enjoy our weekly worship, our Wednesday worship, and Reverend Chris's sermons. And in his most recent sermon, Reverend Chris addressed the idea of prayer, how important prayer is in our lives and how it can help us to express and to develop our love of God, and through that, our love of our neighbour. And these are, of course, the core and central values of Christianity. And these values are reflected naturally in the messages that the great leaders of our Christian faith are increasingly giving when they ask us to think about the individual, the power of the individual, the role of individualism in society. Is this leading us to be more selfish? And is it also fueling globalisation of a kind that enables the wealthy to become more and more rich at the expense of the most disadvantaged? Does the current situation with COVID-19 give us an opportunity to reevaluate this, to stand back, to think about how our world operates, to think about the meaning of globalisation? The virus itself is a global phenomenon, and we have seen that it doesn't respect anyone. It's just as likely to infect those who are rich and powerful as it is to infect the most vulnerable in our society. So what is our responsibility to one another? How can we use this opportunity to address issues of environmental change and to seek to make our world a fairer place, to seek to bring about the kingdom of God by providing greater equity for everyone? St. Paul, in his epistle to the Galatians, puts it this way in the 6th chapter: bear ye one another's burdens. I think this is what we are doing as we try perhaps to increase our contributions to food banks and to work in various ways to try to make life a little bit easier for those who are suffering so greatly. But of course, there is also increased reliance on food banks. There's increased poverty, there's increased disadvantage. If we are going to love our neighbour truly, then we need to think about who our neighbour is. The power of prayer can help us to do this, can help us to understand that however different from us our neighbours may be, they are nonetheless our neighbours, and we are entitled to bear their burdens too.